No, everything's okay.
Okay, so I will go to have an appointment, quick appointment for about half an hour. Okay. Thank you.
All right. Good evening, Dhamma friends. First of all, I wanted to say that we had a very bizarre timing today, but anyways, hopefully you have been able to catch up with this class.
Evening, Bhante.
Good evening.
Good evening.
And before we get started, our OPRC class, let's pay respect to the Buddha. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavatu arahatu samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavatu arahatu samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavatu arahatu samma sambuddhassa. Today will be OPRC class, I would say, day 47. And we will be studying about Dhammapada's 11 and 12 stanzas, which are, I would say, sharing the same idea, the good side and the bad side, starting from the bad side and the good side. So let's see the stanzas here. Let me just read for you. Asare sara matino, sare cha sara dasino, te sarang nadi gachanti, micha sankappa gochara. Asare sara matino, sare cha sara dasino, te sarang nadi gachanti, micha sankappa gochara. Right, so now we can ask groups to read. So first of all, I can ask from group 1. Anybody from group 1? Yeah, yes, Ansu, please go ahead.
Thank you, Bhante. Asare sara matino, sare cha sara dasino, te sarang nadi gachanti, micha sankappa gochara.
Okay, great.
Thank
And
you,
then
Bhante.
group 2. Okay, so May on, please go ahead.
Asare sara mantino, sare chasara dasino, te saram nati gajanti, micha sangkapa gochara.
Okay, great.
You.
And group 3. Yes, Lisa, please go ahead.
Hello, Bhante. Thank you.
Yes.
Asare saramatino, sare kasara dasino, te saram nati gachanti, micha sankapa gochara.
Okay, I think I noticed two things. Can you read the second line here?
Yes.
Sare.
Sare kasara dasino?
It's not ka. You see, ka is like this,
Yes.
but this one is cha.
Chasara.
Cha.
Cha.
Cha sara.
Chasara.
Chasara.
Sare
Sare
chasara.
chasara dasino.
Chasara dasino. Sare chasara dasino.
Sare cha sara dasino.
Chare chasara dasino.
And the third line?
Te saram nahit gachanti.
Not sarang, sarang.
Sara. Te
Sara.
saram nahit
Sara. This is long A, long A.
Sara.
Sarang.
Te saram nahit gachanti.
Okay, would you like to read the whole thing again?
Asare sara matino, sare kasara dasino.
Chasara dasino.
Chasara dasino. Te saram nahi gachanti. Micha sankapa gochara.
Okay, great.
Thank
Fast
you.
learn. Group 4. Ready? Group 4. Yes, Oi, please go ahead.
Thank you, Bhante.
Yes.
Asare Sara Matino, Sare Chasara Dasino, Te Sarang Nadi Gachanti, Micha Sankapa Gochara.
Okay, great.
Thank you,
And
Bhante.
group 5. Yes, Melinda, please go ahead.
Thank you, Bhante. Asare Sara Matino, Sare Cha Sara Nasino,
Saricha Sardas.
Sare Cha Sare Sara Dasino, Te Saram Nadi Ganchanti, Micha Sankapa Gochara.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
And group 6. Seri, please go ahead.
Yes, thank you, Bhante.
Yes.
Asare Sara Matino, Sare Cha Sara Dasino, Te Sarang Natika Chanti, Micha Sankapa Gochara. Gochara.
Gochara. Okay, great.
Gochara. Thank you, Bhante.
And then group 7. Are you from group 7? Okay, Shari, please go ahead.
Thank you, Bhante. Asare Sara Matino, Sare Chasara Dasino, Te Sarang Nadi Gachanti, Micha Sankapa Gochara.
Okay, great. And group 8. Last group, group 8. Yes, Chan, please go ahead. I will put a Chong Paklan after. Yes, Chan, please go ahead.
Asare Sara Matino, Sarecha Sara Dasino, Ti Sarang Na Dikachanti, Micha Sankapa Gochara.
Great.
Thank
All
you.
right, so I'm now giving the opportunity to others, starting with Chong Paklan. Go ahead.
Thank you, Bhante.
Yes.
Asare Sara Matino, Sare Chasara Dasino,
Sare Cha.
Sare Cha Sara Dasino, Te Saram Nadi Gachanti, Micha Sankapa Gochara.
Okay, great.
Thank
And
you.
we have Ochuwong, please.
Thank you, Bhante.
Yes.
Asare Saramatino, Sarecha Saradasino, Te Sarang Nadikachanti, Micha Sankapa Gochara.
Okay, great.
Thank
We
you,
have
Bhante.
Naisha, please.
Thank you, Bhante.
Yes.
Asare Sara Martino, Sare Cha Sara Dasino, Te Sarang Nadi Gachanti, Micha Sankapa Gochara.
Great. And
Thank
we
you,
have
Bhante.
Kim.
Thank you, Bhante.
Yes.
Asare Sara Matino, Sare Cha Sara Dasino, Te Sarang Nadi Gachanti, Micha Sankapa Gochara.
Okay, great. And we have Indra.
Thank you, Bhante.
Yes.
Asare Sara Martino, Sare Cha Sara Dasino, Te Sarang Nadi Gachanti, Micha Sankappa Gochara.
Okay, great. Right, anybody else? Yes, Chupen, please go ahead.
Thank you, Bhante.
Yes.
Asare saramatino, sare chasara dasino, te saranadi gachanti, micha sankapa gochara.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Bhante.
Anyone else? If not, we can move on to the next stanza, which is the good side of this one. Okay. Sancha saratu nyatva asarang cha asaratu te sarang adhi gachanti samma sankappa gochara. Sarancha saratu nyatva asarang cha asaratu te sarang adhi gachanti samma sankappa gochara.
Yeah.
Right, so asking from group 1, anybody? Yeah, group 1. Then group 2. Anyone from group 2? Yes. Oh, who
It's
came
okay.
first? Okay, I'll keep him in the main one. Yes, Susan, please go ahead.
Oh, thank you, Bhante.
Yes.
Sarancha sarato nyatva. Asarancha asarato. Te saram hatikachanti. Sama sankapa gochara.
Okay, great. Okay, Kim, I will put you to the main list. Is okay? Okay. Then group 3. Kim, are you from group 3?
No, sorry.
Okay. Okay, good. Yes, Lisa, please go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Bhante.
Yes.
Sarancha sarato netva.
Nyatva. That's a
Netva.
little harder word. Nyatva.
Natwa.
Not natwa. If you say natwa, it should be like this. Natwa. But this one is called nyatwa.
Nyatwa. Nyatwa. Okay.
Any similar letters that you pronounce in your maybe language? Nyatwa.
Netva.
Not nyatwa. Nyatwa. Like baba no nyak. Nyatwa.
Netva.
Ah, yes. Nyatwa.
Netva. Sarancha sarato netva. Asarancha asarato.
Okay.
Te saram adikajanti. Sama sankapa gochara.
Okay, great. Yeah.
Netva. Thank you.
And group 4. Someone from group 4. Yes, Naichan, please. Yes.
Thank you, Bhante.
Yes.
Sarancha sarato nyatwa. Asar.
Good. Yes.
Asarancha asarato. Te sarang adik gachanti. Sama sankapa gochara.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Yes. And group 4. Sorry, group 5. Yes, Melinda.
Thank you, Bhante. Sarancha sarato nyatwa asarancha asarato te saram adik gachanti sama sankapa gochara.
Okay,
Thank
great.
you.
And group 6. Yes, Seri, please go ahead.
Thank you, Bhante. Sarancha sarato nyatwa. Asaran Che asarato. Te sarang adika chanti. Sama sangkapa gochara.
All right, great.
Thank you.
And group 7. Group 7? Yes, Shadi, let's go ahead.
Thank you, Bhante.
Yes.
Sarancha sarato nyatva. Asarancha asarato. Te sarang adika chanti. Sama sangkapa gotara.
Okay, great. And group 8. Yes, last group. Yes, Chompakla, let's go ahead.
Thank you, Bhante.
Yes.
Sarancha sarato nyatwa. Asarancha asarato. Te saram adi gachanti. Sama sankapa gochara.
Okay, great. And we'll be asking Kim to read. Yes, Kim.
Sarancha sarato nyatwa. Asarang cha asarato. Te sarang adiga chanti. Sama sangkapa gochara.
Okay, great. And we have Chan.
Yes, Bhante, thank you. Sarancha sarato nyatwa. Asarang cha asarato. Te sarang adik gachanti. Sama sangkapa gochara.
Okay, great. And Oi.
Thank you, Bhante.
Yes.
Sarancha sarato natwa. Sarancha sarato nyatwa. Asarancha asarato. Te sarang adigachanti. Sama sangkapa gochara.
Right, good. And then we have Ansui.
Thank you, Bhante. Sarancha sarato nyatwa. Asarancha asarato. Te sarang adik gachanti. Sama sangkapa gochara.
Right, and we have Siecha.
Cha sarato nyatwa. Asarancha asarato. Te sarang adik chanti. Sama sangkapa gochara.
Okay, great.
Thanks,
And we
Dave.
have Ochuwong.
Thank you, Bhante. Sarancha sarato nyatwa. Sarancha. No, sorry. Asarancha asarato. Te sarang adikachanti. No, Bhante. Sama sangkapa gochara.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
And Rashmi.
Bhante.
Yes.
Thank you, Bhante. Sarancha sarato nyatva. Asarancha asarato. Te sarang adigachanti. Samma sankappa gochara.
Can you read again?
Whole stanza.
Yeah, maybe you go for the whole thing. Sarancha.
Sarancha sarato nyatva. Asarancha asarato. Te sarang adigachanti. Samma sankappa gochara.
Okay, so when you read the second line, you can read together without breaking the letters. Asarang, no, sarang, cha, saratu. You have to read the whole word together. Asarang cha asaratu, not sarang cha saratu. Asarang cha asaratu.
Asarancha asarato.
Don't highlight this A. Just pronounce the whole word together.
Asarancha asarato.
Better. Asarancha, because they are individual words, we can't break them. You know?
Okay.
Asarancha asarato.
Okay. Asarancha asarato.
Yes, great. The rest is fine. Yes, thank you. And then we have Indrapon.
Yeah. Thank you, Bhante. Sarancha sarato nyatwa. asarancha asarato te sarang adigachanti samma sankappa gochara.
Okay, great. Anybody else?
Thank you, Bhante.
Anyone else who would like to read? All right, I think we better go to the explanation part with context because of the timing issue today. Let's go back. Okay, first stanza. Asare sara matino, sarecha sara dasino. Te sarang nadi gachanti, micha sankappa gochara. Now the Pali word sara. You can see this word, sara, sara, sara. The only difference that you can see in the next stanza is it has been preceded, the sara is preceded with a, right? So what does sara mean? Sara. Sara? Any idea? What does sara mean? I mean initial, yeah? You can now see essential, inessential, you can see that. What does sara mean? S long
Is
A,
it arrow?
Arrow? That one is Sara. S-A-R-A, not long A, not Sara.
Oh, got it. Thank you.
So when we teach, some people would like to read as Sarah. They know the word, English name, Sarah. Sarah, Sarah. But this one is different. This is Sara, S long A R.
Is it essential? Bhante, is it essential?
No, that's what we can see in the translation. I'm asking, what does Sara mean initially? If you go to Majjhima Nikaya, you can see many suttas. There are a couple suttas called Chula Saropama Sutta, Maha Saropama Sutta, which come under the Opamma Vagga. Opamma means similes. The chapter in the Majjhima Nikaya suttas, which are giving Dhamma true similes. You can see Alagaddupama Sutta, the sutta which has a simile about the head of the snake, the water snake. And you could see Chula Hatti Padupama Sutta, the sutta which has a simile about the small elephant. And Maha Hatti Padupama Sutta, the smaller elephant's footprint. And the sutta called Maha Hatti Padupama Sutta, the simile where you see a footprint of a large elephant, greater elephant. Kakachupama Sutta, a sutta where Buddha talks about the patience with regard by giving a simile on a soul, right? An extreme patience. So under the Opamma Vagga, you see two suttas which go as Chula Saropama Sutta, Maha Saropama Sutta. Sara means sap, S-A-P, sap. You see the sap in a tree, the essence of something. Sara means sap. Now, that is the literal meaning, but here it has taken a different meaning along the line. It has not deviated from the Sara, the sap. Now, when you say sap means the essence of the Dhamma. Now, there are people who learn Dhamma, but they never learn the core of the Buddhism, C-O-R-E of Buddhism. They learn all the ritualistic things, cultural things, all the social things. They never get to learn core Buddhism. And when someone is going to teach them core Buddhism, they ask, what is this? We never heard. Is it Buddhism? Because they are not familiarized, used to this understanding. C-O-R-E, core. In the same way, Sara means the essence, core of Buddhism. Now, going back, you can see. Now, this means that the two first lines mean someone who is not understanding the true teaching, the core teaching, the essence of Asare sara matino. Now matino, you will just leave it out. Asare sare. Asare means it is not the essence. It is not the most important thing that person has to understand, learn. But this particular person is considering that inessential, unnecessary thing to be essential, right? This happens, right? There are people who consider the unimportant, inessential thing to be essential. Maybe unimportant thing, the Dhamma, to be important. Are there such things as important, unimportant in the Dhamma? There are things we have to learn about the as to learning important areas of the Dhamma, and then not very much important things about the Dhamma. Dhamma is important, precious, but there are things that we have to learn in particular, right? What could be a good example? Let's say there is someone who has not entered into the basics of Buddhism. What is the basics of Buddhism? The basic fundamental level of Buddhism. Be a responsible person. Whether you go to the retreat, whether you do your puja, whether you do good karma, at the end, what is the most important thing out of all these practices? Responsibility. Only when you are responsible, you are going to be mindful. I had to be mindful. Otherwise, I'm going to make bad karma. Only when you are responsible, you are going to take care of your thoughts. Why? You need to be a responsible person. Now, this is the basics, fundamentals. And because we all have to be responsible in terms of our spiritual path, then we are taking initiatives like what we call Sila, Samadhi, Panya practice. They all are there just to prepare us in the path, so that we are going to be very much careful about our actions, speeches, and thoughts. Now, let's say someone is not into this understanding. That person always thinks the Buddha's teachings are something that they are just doing from a different context. I'm not going to actually name XYZ practices. And that person has learned the Buddha's teachings from a very tertiary, secondary level. So that person cannot understand what it is, right? So that is why the Buddha says here, there are people who consider unimportant aspect of life to be important. Maybe inessential part of the life, spiritual aspects, to be essential, right? So this is a misunderstanding. You can see here, Sarecha Saradasino, when that person or those people are considering inessential to be essential, unimportant to be important, then what will happen? The flip side of that is you are going to consider essential to be inessential, important to be unimportant, right? It happens. Then what is happening to those people? They saran, they will never get to the bottom of the Dhamma. They will never get to the sap, means essence of the Dhamma, core of the Dhamma, fundamentals of the Dhamma. They will never reach that area. They will never reach that place. Why? What is the reason? They are vulnerable, gochara, vulnerable to the miccha sankappa, wrong thoughts, wrong intentions. I think it's a very interesting idea, right? Such an interesting idea. Now, our purpose in this class is to discuss about the true Dhamma things, right? So we are trying to understand the essential, the important from the suttas, right? So we are not going to deal with unnecessary, unimportant things, right? Now, one very good thing to consider here is text, sacred text. Now, there are a lot of text. There are many people who don't know where to start, isn't it? So they see this book, that book. You know, some people even start their Dhamma journey from commentaries, Pali commentaries, maybe from Abhidhamma, even from Abhidhamma. So they never know where to start. Maybe they start their meditation from a 2-century-old meditation practice, not from the early Buddhist meditation practice, right? Maybe they follow a certain, I would say, a newly built practice, which has no links to the original meditation practices which the Buddha taught under Sammasati, Satipatthanas. This is creating inessential to be essential, maybe unimportant to be important. And they are neglecting the important. They are making important to be unimportant, essential to be inessential. So they are getting stuck in their Dhamma chain. That's why we have to study this early Buddhist text. And thereby we have to understand what text are we supposed to read. I think I already mentioned to you many times before. We normally call Digha Nikaya, Majjhima Nikaya, Samyutta Nikaya, Anguttara Nikaya, and some of the books in the Khuddaka Nikaya. They are the early Buddhism. Abhidhamma Pitaka came in later. Commentaries came even later. What if you start your Dhamma practice with a book called Visuddhi Magga? You get to see this big bulky book, Visuddhi Magga, path of purification. You are so much, tricked by this book. Very bulky book. The path of purification. Why not buy this book? But then you get to know this is somebody's ideas. Right? Buddha never talk about kammatthana, 40 kammatthanas in the text. There are certain good things. What I'm trying to say is that when you learn something, learn from the original source. Learn from the particular, what you call, core Buddhism, not from school Buddhisms, developed versions. Then you are not understanding the true essence, sara. And also we can take other things too. Let's say there's somebody who might not consider about the moral aspects of life, right? He or she might always break, moral things, right? And then he or she might not cultivate Brahma Viharas, so that they are doing the opposite. So we can take asara to be as such as well. But normally what we understand, sara is basically that you are not particularly understanding what you are supposed to do. If we read about this sara, furthermore, we will find out what did Buddha mean by sara. He exactly meant by sara something else. What he meant by sara was the 10 sammaditthi, tenfold sammaditthi. That means there are 10 things that we have to practice in terms of sammaditthi. So this is what we have to understand by sara. Asara, the opposite word, this one. You can see here, this is sara. Then asara. Asara means there is someone who does not have 10 perspectives, 10 types of sammaditthi. I'm going to show you what they are. I think you already know. Just to remind you. All right. So these are the 10 types of sammaditthi. See here. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, 9, 10. Okay. Sara means someone who has these 10, more or less. Asara means someone who doesn't have this background, who doesn't have this understanding in his or her perspective, in his or her view. So that is asara. Now say, for instance, there is someone who is making the opposite of these 10 as his or her perspective. Now let's read one by one. There is merit in giving dana. There is merit in large offerings, dana. Dana can be given in small ways or in large ways. There is merit in small offerings. There are results from good and bad karma, believing in karma. My mother is a special person. My father is a special person. believing that I've been born here already, there's this world, and then there's other world. That means there's next life, unless we attain Nibbana. There are spontaneously reborn beings. Beings who are reborn without the participation of mother and father. There are beings as such. And there are ascetics, wise people, monks, nuns, contemplatives who develop special powers through meditation, direct knowledge. So, having these 10 as the views in someone's mind, someone's view, perspective, is what we call by Sara. If that person doesn't have these 10 as the foundation of his or her views, we call that person as Asara. All right, Sara and Asara. Now, what is Sara and what is Asara? What is Sara? The Pali word Sara means sap, essence. Now, the Buddha means, what he meant by Sara is having the tenfold Samadhi. What he meant by Asara is having the opposite of the tenfold Samadhi. They have Michchaditthi. 10 wrong views. That means the opposite of these 10. Now, what does it mean indirectly? Can you guess something about this? What does this mean indirectly? That means if somebody is entering into Buddhism, that person must learn the Sammaditthi. But do people get to learn Sammaditthi? Let's say someone is coming to the vihara, coming to the temple, learning Buddhism. The immediate thing is that they're going to get in touch with the vihara, maybe some monks, some of the programs. But do you think that there's a structured program that every newcomer is to learn this structured practice from Sammaditthi? I don't think so. So they are picking up bits and pieces. Maybe their Dhamma knowledge is very scattered. They are not good in even in one teaching. They know bits and pieces, a little bit of this, a little bit of this. What are the Four Noble? I think it's dukkha, have a hard time in even remembering, They are not even proficient, knowledgeable even in one teaching. That is why a newcomer needs a structured teaching. So they all must have started from Sammaditthi, right view. We will discuss that one by one again. The larger, broader aspect of these Sammaditthi. I always say without Sammaditthi, there's no meditation. Without Sammaditthi, there are no good speeches. There are no good actions. There are no concentration. There is nothing happening. Nothing is going to happen without Sammaditthi. Sammaditthi is the bedrock, foundation, pillar of your Dhammapada. Without Sammaditthi, you will do something, but you will fall apart in your practice. That is where people say, I've been meditating a lot, I've been doing a lot of things, but I think I'm not growing in my practice. There's something happening to me. So long I've been practicing, but I don't feel that I'm growing in my practice. Why? No Sammaditthi. They have not blended their views with the Sammaditthi, right views. Okay. We will leave that Sammaditthi part to be discussed later here. And we have discussed the other part too. Now, when you don't have Sammaditthi, then what is happening to you? Then you are into Miccha Sankappa. That is not a surprise because Sammaditthi is the first one. Then the immediate next one is Samma Sankappa. That means whenever your views are wrong, then you are immediately creating wrong thoughts, unwholesome thoughts, right? So without Sammaditthi, that means with Micchaditthi, you are making a lot of wrong thoughts, right? What are the wrong thoughts, Dhamma folks? Wrong thoughts or wrong intentions? What are they?
Killing, Bhante, killing, stealing.
Are not wrong. They are happening after the thoughts. People are going to kill others after they are having these wrong thoughts, wrong intentions.
They don't believe in karma. They don't believe in karma. They don't believe in karma.
No, I'm asking, what does Miccha Sankappa mean here? Now, we understand there is someone who has asara, who is thinking asara is good, sara is not good. Now what is happening? That means there is no samadhi, right? Then whatever the thoughts, intention that he or she is cultivating are going to create miccha sankara, wrong intentions, wrong thoughts. I'm asking, what does wrong intention or wrong thought mean? How many? And how do we need to understand it?
Is it three, Bhante? Covetousness, something like. Oh.
No, no,
Oh,
they are on a different context. Abhijja, Vyapada, Michchaditi. They are on a different level. Under the Noble Eightfold Path, it is very clear that there are three. There are three as well. What are the three wrong Miccha Sankappa, wrong intentions?
Bhante, is it thoughts driven by like lopa, moha, or dosa, or something?
Yeah, that is a very larger, broader way of looking at our thoughts, intent. But particularly speaking, specifically speaking about the Noble Eightfold Path, we know that there are three. First one is Kama Sankappa. Whenever we are not having Sammaditi, as long as we don't have Sammaditi, whatever the thoughts that are coming up, they are broken down into three parts. The first one is Kama thoughts. We are bombarded with a lot of Kama thoughts. Right? We can't even stop our Kamas, sensual pleasure thoughts. You don't know how to stop them. They are coming. They are like flowing so much, profusely. The second one is Vyapada Sankappa arising. So wrong thought to intention to. Vyapada means thoughts of destroying others. Now Kim said killing. Killing, in order to killing happen, you must have a thought of destroying someone, right? Otherwise, you must be a mentally sick person. Suddenly you're going to kill somebody. But other than that, in order to kill someone, you must have a thought to kill that person. Then the action happens after that.
Avihimsa.
This is called Vyapada. It's a Miccha Sankappa. Wrong. Actually, if we can stop if we have Sammaditi, these thoughts are not arising. When we have Micchaditi, opposite of those 10, Sammaditi, right view, then these thoughts are coming. First one is Kama Sankappa. Second is Vyapada Sankappa. Third is Vihinsa Sankappa. Thoughts of bullying other people, picking on other people, torturing other people. Have you ever been bullied by somebody? What were the thoughts that came to you? Looking at the person, the bully's mindset. And you were the target of the bully, right? Emotional, mental, physical bullying, torturing. It's a thought. The bully wants to think, I want to bully this person. I want to pick on this person. And then the actions are happening. What you call hitting, pushing, throwing, all these other ancillary things are happening after that. So there are three Miccha Sankappas: Kama Sankappa, Vyapada Sankappa, Vihinsa Sankappa. Now you might be a little bit confused. Now somebody here said Abhijja, Vyapada, Micchaditi. And someone said Lobha, Dosa, Moha. And there are many answers. Why is this? Because we have not particularly understood the context of Buddhist teachings. There are different contexts. In the Noble Eightfold Path context, wrong thoughts are only these three. Then at a certain point of time, yes, you are bringing these three wrong thoughts onto Abhijja, Vyapada, Miccaditi. Yes, you are. But Noble Eightfold Path says, it is not that you are coming up with the Miccaditi. It is because of Miccaditi, you are creating wrong intentions. Miccha Sankappa, wrong thoughts. Now, this is the problem in our life. Why there is someone who is considering what you call unimportant to be important, inessential to be essential, or essential to be inessential, or important to be unimportant. It is because that person has not properly started his or her Dhamma journey from Sammaditthi. That is our practice. That is our Dhamma journey. Our Dhamma journey is not your cultural practice. You may do it. That is what you are used to. Our Dhamma journey is nothing but the Noble Eightfold Path. That's the only Dhamma journey everybody has to follow. That Dhamma journey must have started from Sammaditthi. Now, this is why people are messing up here, because they don't understand where to begin. Now we can understand here, we are always supposed to begin from Sammaditthi. Okay, we will discuss them more in detail. Let's go to the second one. Slight difference here. And now here the good side. There is someone who understands this issue very well. He or she sarancha saratrunyata, properly estimating this spiritual life, considering essential to be essential, the core teaching of the Buddha to be the core teaching, right? The most important fundamental teachings of the Buddha to be most important fundamental teachings. And asarancha asarat, the unimportant teachings as unimportant teachings. Now here, once again, I would say sarancha means sammaditthi. Asarancha means michchaditthi, right? Sammaditthi is sammaditthi, michchaditthi is michchaditthi. We are not supposed to mess up with these two different. Sammaditthi is always sammaditthi, michchaditthi is always michchaditthi. Now, in order to do this distinguish, what you call separation, we should have a very good understanding. How to properly say this is sammaditthi, this is michchaditthi. We must have a very good understanding about the Noble Eightfold Path, right? And then this good person, as a consequence of properly separating out sammaditthi to be sammaditthi, michchaditthi to be michchaditthi, because of that, they are embracing what you call the essence of the Buddha's teachings, the essence of the Dhamma. They have entered into this Dhamma journey the proper way, right? Sara. Because the reason overall is they are into Samma Sankappa. Samma Sankappa means Nekkhamma Sankappa. The opposite of the Avyapada Sankappa. Avihimsa Sankappa. Nekkhamma Sankappa means they understand that every day we are going to like people and things, isn't it? If you look at your life, are we going to like and then as a distortion of that liking, probably end up with some craving and clinging? But they are trying to understand what has been happening in my life is that I have been getting to like everything that I get to see, every person I get to see, get to understand. But now I know that I should set some boundaries. I have to understand my liking, my disliking, right? So they are practicing nekkhamma. Nekkhamma means renunciation. Renunciation does not mean that you leave the house like Makadeva king. Huh? People who are thinking like Makadeva, Kim Makadeva. Kim Makadeva told his barber, whenever you see a white hair, you tell me. Then one day Baba saw a white hair in the king's head. And he said, "Dear Lord, the first white hair was found now." Okay, that's a good sign to leave the kingdom. And you are not doing as like Makadeva king. Because your way of practicing renunciation is something practical. Practical to your life now. Practical to this world at this point. Maybe you are in the household, but you are trying to minimize your unnecessary likings. That's possible. When someone goes to the forest, who is going to like people? They are in the forest. They are only seeing the forest stuff. Right? You should find the renunciation in the household, not in the forest. That is how the Buddha said. It's a challenge. It is the challenge. That's why people go to the forest for a couple of weeks and come back again. I always say they get very high on the retreat. They fall back to the earth when they come home. Because they are trying to run away from the household for happiness. If you read a lot of Dhamma teachings, you understand what the Buddha says is that for the lay people, not for the monastics, Yes, they have a different path. For the lay people, you have to practice renunciation and all the other good things at home, not escaping the household, not running away from the household. That is the place of your calm. Then you are practicing nekkhamma, being in the household, not hurting anybody. Right? There are people, when they start practice, they are getting very high. You should not talk to me like this. I've been practicing Dhamma now. I'm on the right path. From today, don't talk to me. Don't gossip. Let people gossip. Doesn't matter. But you are the one how to process that gossip. Sometimes there are people who are blaming others. I was doing my practice very well, but you are the person who disturbed my practice today. It's like a serious meditator who's meditating in the household, but there's an ambulance going on. See, silence is so bad to my meditation. Because of the ambulance, I was disturbed. Because of the police car, I was disturbed. It doesn't matter. Let them go on the road. But you are dealing with your thoughts. Never leave the house for renunciation. Renunciation has to be in your house. You are probably cost cutting, right? Let's say there is someone who is trying to cost cut. Their children are not anymore with them, and they don't have to live in a very big house. They are trying to minimize cost cut, right? And they can't even take care of the house. Maybe they are going to move on to an apartment. Right? Maybe they have been doing some unnecessary, inessential things in the past. Maybe they are going to minimize those unnecessary things as of now. And so they are managing this karmas. You have to manage. You can't go away from karmas. Embrace the change, embrace the karmas, and work with them. So that is what we understand by what you call Samma Sankappa and Miccha Sankappa. Our practice has to be based on Samadhi. That is how we are creating Samma Sankappa. Okay, there's a story. Let me share with you the story. The story is the famous two what you call chief disciples, Arahant Moggalla, Arahant Sariputta and Arahant Moggalla. They are very popular in the history of Buddhism. Initially, I think you all understand there was something going on. I think there is someone who is having probably a technical issue. Can you please log in again? This is Choli, I think. Yeah. Yeah, I think you better log again. So you will be okay then. All right. When the Buddha appointed Arahant Sariputta and Arahant Moggallana to be his chief disciples, there was somebody who was not happy about it. This happens. I don't worry, like in a vihara with something happening, there are people not happy about what other people are getting. So there was someone who was not happy. Who was that person?
Was it Devadatta?
Devadatta is always unhappy. Don't think about
Chanda,
it.
Bhante, is it
He
Chanda?
can't be satisfied.
Chanda?
Chanda. You don't worry about people who are always frustrated. They are always like that. But there is one person called Channa. Who is Channa? Channa is Buddha's charioteer, the one who was taking him around. So he thought the Buddha should give a better place in his sasana, because he was the one who was, I think there are a lot of people thinking like that. I was the one who was behind you, but you should give me, a top place. But Buddha never did that just because he knows people. He was looking for the right person. Sansarically right person. The one who is really eligible. Not that he knows for some time. I think in our life, we do this. We know this person for 10 years. So better we do the deal with that person. This is the normal way. But the Buddha is not doing like that. He's looking for the right person. Right person must come. And Channa was not happy. And then he was speaking bad about the Buddha, and Buddha had to say something about him. For the first time, he said to the other monks, from today, nobody is going to talk to monk Chan, Bhante Chan. It is called Brahma Danda. I think that's interesting Pali word. Huh? Let me type for you. Huh? This is the highest punishment in Buddhism. Huh? You might think Buddhism has capital punishment. It's called Brahma Danda. The highest. I'm going to send you. Okay. Brahma Danda. If you are asking me, is there punishment in Buddhism? There is the highest punishment in Buddhism to anybody. It's called Brahma Danda. What does Brahma Danda means? Brahma means highest, Danda means punishment. Brahma Danda means nobody is allowed to talk to that person. That's it. From today, nobody is going to talk to Chan. Actually, when people are not talking to us, we feel punished because nobody talks to us, especially the Buddha and then all these good people, right? What if that your Kalyana Mitras are not going to message you back from a certain day? They are not reading your messages. They are not replying you back. They are not saying hi to you. They are not looking at you. That's going to be a problem. I don't think your Kalyana Mitras are going to do that. But in this, what you call highest punishment, what the Buddha meant by Brahmadanda was to give the highest punishment in Buddhism to Chan, because he is not listening. Nobody can teach him. Even the Buddha could not convince him. So the Buddha needed to de-escalate his behavior, and he did. He was really mad when he saw Buddha was appointing Arahant Sariputta and Moggallana to be chief disciples. Anyways, I think let's talk about the story of Arahant Sariputta and Moggallana. They were good friends before some time. And then they used to go to enjoy a concert called Girajja Samaj. Girajja Samaj. Every day, every year, they used to go to this concert. They were enjoying the jokes. Actually, it's kind of a, what do you call in today's world? Like a comedy show, you know? People like comedians. They crack jokes in this concert. But when they go to this Girajja Samaj in one particular year, they were not happy about the jokes that they were making. Probably indecent jokes. Maybe they came to a point that this is not really essential to our life anymore. We got to quit this. And then they were thinking about who to follow now, because we need some true teachings from somebody. Then they found out a teacher, very, I would say, popular, widely accepted teacher in the pre-Buddhist time. His name was Sanjaya Bellatiputta. What was his name? Sanjaya Bellatiputta. He was one of the 6 greatest teachers in the pre-Buddhist India, called Purana Kassapa, Makkali Gosala, Ajita Kesa Kambala, Pakuda Kachai, Nigantanatiputta, Sanjaya Bellatiputta. But Sanjaya Bellatiputta, when they approached Sanjaya Bellatiputta, they were able to learn everything of him. But you know what was his main philosophy? He is somebody who is escaping from questions. Now, when people approach him, Sanjaya Bellatiputta, is there a world? It may be, it may not be. Is there a next world? It may be not. So he's always trying not to be specific about his answers. So then people start to say that he is as slippery as an eel. As an eel. Eels, you can't actually catch eels easily. So he's slippery as an eel. He's not giving answers to the point. But at a certain point, what happened? What were their names? Upatissa and Kolita. Upatissa was the lay name of Arahant Sariputta, and Kolita was the name of Arahant Moggallana. So they were friends. They thought, I think we are not happy about this teacher. He's always trying to escape. He's not really answering our questions. So maybe we are going to search for the truth. So I go this way, you go this way. We don't go in one. Like what the Buddha said to all the monks. Don't go in one way. Monks, you have to distribute, to spread the Dhamma. Otherwise, you stay in one temple. You are only catering to certain group one. Monks have to be universal. Go everywhere. Spread the Dhamma. So they went on different ways. Then Upatissa found a monk. He's not a normal monk. He's one of the 5 ascetics. Now tell me the names of 5 ascetics. Panchavagya bhikkhus, Kondanya, Vappa,
Mahanama,
Bhante, Mahanama, Asaji.
Asaji.
So Upatissa could see Bhante Asaji, Arahan Asaji. So he was very happy with his behavior, the way how he is. Then he could find something to offer to Arahan Upatissa, Asaji. And then he was waiting until he finished his lunch. And then he approached him, asked him, you look very pleasant, very charming. You seems to be enjoying your life very well, not the life that I have been spending. So can you teach me something that you have been following so far? Then he said, Arahan Asaji told him, I don't know a lot of Buddhism, but I know only one thing. I know the philosophy of the Buddha. Then he shared this particular stanza with him. Arahan Asaji shared this stanza. I'm going to share in the chat for you. All right. Ye dhamma hetu pabhava tesang hetung tathagatu ah te sanchayo nirodhu evang vadi maha saman. Okay. This is what he said. Now, what is the translation of this? This clearly says in the verb style that this is what he says. I don't know anything more than that. He said, Ye dhamma hetu pabhava. If there are any states of mind, mental states, which are arisen, the Buddha is telling the reason, the true causes of all those mental states. Let's say you are angry. Buddha is saying, why is the anger rising? Te sanchayo nirodho. At the same time, he is saying how to cease, how to stop those unnecessary mental states. Evang vadi mahasamana. Our great teacher is talking something like this. He didn't know how to describe a lot. Our great teacher is talking about in other words, cause and effect. Paticca samuppada. You know what? When he heard this stanza from Arahan Asaji, right at the end of Mahasamano word, he became a Sotapanna. Upatissa became a Sotapanna, this non-Buddhist person. Right? Because the reason is not this life. Upatissa has been practicing from many lives, his paramitas. That's why when Bhante Asaji met him, what happened was that his paramitas were complete. They were they went to fruition. They went to the pinnacle of his practice. They became paramitas. So now Upatissa thanked Bhante Asaji. Then he searched his friend now, Kolita. Actually, it is said that Upatissa became a Sotapanna only by hearing the first 2 lines. Only at the point of Ye dhamma hetu pabhava tesang hetun tathagatua. At the end of second line, he became a Sotapanna. Then now he found out Kolita, his friend. Then he said, I found someone like this. This is what he said. Then it is said, Kolita became a Sotapanna at the end of the 4th line. He had to learn because Arahan Moggallana's understanding of the Dhamma was not that fast. Arahan Sariputta is so quick because he has been practicing a lot. There is a difference. So what happened? Then they both went to see his teacher, their teacher. Who was their teacher? Sanjay Bellatiputta. Then told Sanjay Bellatiputta, dear teacher, we want to follow the Buddha. Then you know what he said? He said, because he didn't want to acknowledge the truth. He said, all the good people, wise people go to the Shakyamuni Buddha, all the idiots come to me. He said like that, just to mock this pair, you know. All these wise people go to see him, and he was telling that indirectly what's going on with his students. So then when Potissa and Kolita went to see the Buddha, they were given the Dharma names, Sariputta and Moggallana, and then they informed the Buddha how things went in their life, starting from annual participants of a Giraja Samaja comedy show, and how they left that, how they started following Sanjay Bellatiputta, how they didn't like him at a certain point, how they met Arahan Asaji, how they came to see the Buddha. And then the Buddha said, Asare saramatino, sarecha saradasino, te sarang adhikachanti, micha sankapuchara. Why a lot of people cannot understand the true Dhamma, it is because they are following the unimportant, inessential. That means 10 micha ditti. All right, depending on the time, I'm going to take a very good time to show you something about the Samadhi, although you can see that. But this is the most important aspect of Dhamma journey. Dana, I think you have no problem with the Dana. Everybody would like to give Dana. I just leave it like this. But believing in the karma, every action, every intentional action create good karma, bad karma. And this thing is very important. Why did the Buddha bring mother and father onto the Sammaditthi? You don't see wife or husband or children in the Sammaditthi. Why is it? Mother and father must be treated, although you may have issues with them, doesn't matter. But you are going to be very grateful to your mom and dad. That is the starting point of our Dhamma practice. They are the very good sources of our Dhamma practice. So you are always thinking, what can I do to them? Not when they passed away. Yeah? When they passed away, you might do a lot of dhanas. We have to make people happy when they are living, when they are alive. Not when they are gone. When they are gone, they don't know. But we do that. So we are going to make people happy. And especially our mother and father happy. And we should be able to feel them happy. Yes. Sometimes we are making people happy, but they are not feeling happy, isn't it? We are trying so much to make them happy, but maybe not in the proper way. So always believing that mother and father, they are epitomes, pillars of my Sammaditthi practice. That is a very good way to practice Sammaditthi in addition to other 8. And then believing about what we don't know sometimes. Maybe there are beings like Deva, Brahma, Apaya beings who do not have any parents, right? But we still believe that they are reborn as spontaneous beings. So these 10 things you have to include in your views. When you think, when you talk, when you, act, always blend these 10 into your attitudes, your views. Then only you are bringing Sara. Sara means essence of the Dhamma. Thereby you are creating right intentions of thoughts. All right, any questions for today? Question. Do this seeing essential as essential? That means Sammaditthi as Sammaditthi. Unessential as inessential, inessential. Michhaditthi is always Michhaditthi. Is Yathabhuta. Yes, that is taking us to that objective understanding, Yathabhuta. When we are deluded, we are always seeing the Ayathabhuta, not the true version of anything.
Bhante, Guihua here. Just now you say about Gochara. Gochara is what I heard you say honorable, is it?
No, vulnerable.
Oh, what?
Vulnerable.
Again? Honorable, okay.
Not honorable.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah. That means when you have Michhaditthi, when you don't have the core part of the Buddhism, when you have Michhaditthi, you are vulnerable to the wrong thoughts, wrong intentions, always vulnerable. Whatever the thoughts that are coming naturally or by effort, they are going to be wrong. Michha. So you are always vulnerable. You are susceptible, far more susceptible. Oh, I think Yathabhuta is something, I think. Yes. What is Yathabhuta? Yathabhuta is a Pali word which says being able to understand the truth of that particular phenomenon, right? Every phenomenon carries a truth, but we don't see that because we are looking at it with a subjective understanding, right? Now, let's say there is a person, right? We understand there is a person subjectively, but objectively, there is a panchakanda, 5 aggregates. But just because of that, don't call people, you are not and you are panchakanda. You have only 5 aggregates. You are not and or you are not Peter. You are panchakanda. We are not going to do that. But we know how to understand subjectively, how to understand objectively. Yathabhuta is the objective way of understanding anything, people, things. Now, let's say something, maybe this mouse. This mouse is made from 4 elements. Patavi, Apo, Tejo, Vayu. That is Yathabhuta. But for many people, no, this is a mouse, Logitech mouse, There are other brands of mouse. This is subjective understanding. Maybe you can go for a higher type of mouse, maybe the game mouse, They all are subjective. But there's somebody who's understanding, yes, I just need a mouse. And I know that it is made from 4 elements. Yeah, that's Yathabhuta.
Bhante, can Bhante explain number 12, the first line? Sarancha sarato nyatva.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nyatva means having understood, having considered. Nyatva means understanding, knowing actually. Nyatva means nya, knowing. Having known, essential to be essential. Sammaditthi to be sammaditthi. Sammaditthi is sammaditthi all the time. Having known that micchaditthi is always micchaditthi. Then you are bringing samma sankappa.
Thank you, Bhante.
Yes. Right. Any more questions about today? About I think these 2 stanzas talk about whole Buddhism and how people get to the practice. So it's very important. I could say the Buddha wanted to say how his chief disciple embraced Buddhism. This is how they embraced Buddhism. They understood that Sanjay Bellattiputta's teaching is Micchaditthi. So they wanted to exit from that Micchaditthi teaching. They initially they quitted the comedy show. Then they quitted this teacher. And then they went to the right thing. Sammaditthi teaching with the Buddha. So I think it's a very good example for us to think about whether we have not started or whether we have started our Dhamma practice from Sammaditthi or not. All right. Any more questions for today about these 2 stanzas? I think I already discussed with the Pali word. Let's see one more time if I have missed any Pali word in explaining. Then we can go to the transfer of some merits. If you don't have a question. Asari, matino. This word we didn't. Matino means consider. Consider. Now, mati is idea. Maybe there is someone who is considering as his idea, considering as her idea. Matino. Asare sara, sara and asara. Dasino means now when you consider, you see things in that way, right? Now, when you consider something to be like this, you see the things in that way. Dasino means seeing. Adhigachanti means reach. Spiritually grow. Spiritual growth. Gochara means vulnerable. Huh? I think it's the same. Nyatva is having known. Yeah, same thing. All right. Seems to be no questions. So we're going to wrap this up at this point by transferring good karmas. May all the good karmas we've been making today by learning Sara and Asara. Sara means Sammaditthi in the context. Asara means Michaditti. In a mere Pali word explanation, Sara means sap or essence. Asara means it is not the sap. It is not the essence. Something that is not essential. So this teaching is very important because this highlights how to start our Dhamma journey, how to maintain our Dhamma journey. All have to start from Samadhi. So may all these teachings, especially today's teachings, and the good karmas we've been making by learning, understanding, engaging in a conversation about this, be transferred to all the departed ones who passed away in the name of all of us. May they be well and happy. May they attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Idammi nyati nang hotu sukita huntu nyatayo. Idammi nyati nang hotu sukita huntu nyatayo. Idammi nyati nang hotu sukita huntu nyatayo. May Deva, Naga, Mahidika also share all these good karmas. May they be well and happy. May they protect all of us for good health, quality of life, prosperity, and safety. And may Deva, Naga, Mahidika at the same time bless us for our Dhamma journeys. Finally, may they also attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Ittavata cha ammehi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ittavata cha ammehi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ittavata cha ammehi sambatang punya sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Akasattha ca Bhummattha Devanaga Mahidika Punyantang Anumoditva Chirang Rakkhantu Lokasasanang. Akasattha ca Bhummattha Devanaga Mahidika Punyantang Anumoditva Chirang Rakkhantu Desanang. Akasattha ca Bhummattha Devanaga Mahidika Punyantang Anumoditva Chirang Rakkhantu Mang Paranti, Chirang Rakkhantu Tvang Sadanti. At the same time, let's make a wish. May we be able to be in the company of Kalyana Mitras till we attain Nibbana. Imina punya kammena mami bala samagamu satang samagamu hutu yava Nibbana patya. Finally, may all the good karmas which we'll be making today. Today is also a new moon day. So I think you've been doing your own prayers, good karmas, at the same time learning the most important part of Buddhism, Samadhi, as the core teaching, essential teaching. May all these good karmas you've been making today be supportive and helpful for all of us to attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Abhivadana Siddhissa Nichang Baddha Prachayino Chattaru Dhamma Baddhanti Ayuvannu Sukhang Balang Ayurarugya Sampatti Sagga Sampatti Mevacha Atu Nibbana Sampatti Iminati Samijjatu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. That's the end of our online Pali reading class. Look forward to seeing you next Thursday.
Thank you, Bhante.
Thank you, Bhante.
Thank you, Bhante.
Thank you, Bhante.
Thank you, Bhante. Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you, Bhante. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you, Bhante.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bhante.
Thank you.
See you tomorrow.
See you. Yes. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna end this.